What is up, everybody? Spidey here, and as always, I hope you're having a marvelous day. I know that I am because today we're going to go through the top Marvel trading card sales of 2026. Now, as I sit here, it is May the 3rd, so we don't have a full year, but we've got over a quarter of the year behind us, and it's a good time to just see how Marvel cards are doing, especially since we're really in the throes of the Topps era of Marvel cards. But I always want to see what some of the older cards are doing as well. So we're going to look into that. We're going to be looking at the top sketch card sales of the year and some other fun stuff. So just sit back and relax if we're going to just If you are not familiar with the website CardLadder, that's what I'm utilizing here. I like CardLadder. It comes with my PSA membership. Since I mentioned PSA, now is a good time for me to let you know that if you do not have an account with PSA, when you sign up, you can use code Spidey25 for $25 off. I think it's really worth the value, not only to be able to grade cards with PSA. PSA continues to dominate the market when it comes to not only the number of cards that they're grading, but the value that the cards carry once they're in a PSA slab, assuming you get the grade that the card needs. But also, you get access to CardLadder, which is a great site to look up sales. That's what we're going to be utilizing today. But really, my favorite thing is to get the monthly magazine in. So when you sign up, make sure you select the Pop Culture magazine. Yours truly has been putting in articles in that magazine since last year. I think I've had like 8 articles that PSA has published, and really have enjoyed that relationship and getting those Marvel trading card articles into the magazine. But you also get some really good stuff in the magazine that's not Marvel related, but whether it be Pokemon or other non-sports TCG pop culture related items. And sometimes the magazines or the promo cards that come in the magazines can help pay for the membership. Anyways, so it's not just the grading, the access to grading that you get when you sign up for PSA. You get access to CardLadder, you get access to the Pop Culture magazine. Now, for what we came here to do, which is to look at sales. So here, what I've done is I've just said, okay, since January 1st, 2026, what are the top Marvel sales? So we're going to just look through these here. We've got Iron Man here. Now, this is a 2024 Topps Chrome Marvel Mask Off Superfractor. So this is a 1 of 1. It did get the PSA 10 grade. The sales price on this, I have no words for. $136,640. That's up there with the highest Marvel card sales of all time. And those sales happened in a period of time when, the world was dealing with kind of the COVID craze of collecting. So this sale is like a one-off, an outlier. Doesn't seem to really reflect the rest of the market or the rest of Marvel cards. I don't know who the underbidder was. This did end at Golden Auctions. So it is a verified sale. And whoever got the card, congratulations. I don't even know if this is the best Iron Man card in 2024 Topps Chrome. The previous Iron Man sold for, I think, around $50-something thousand, the base card. But I digress. We'll keep moving on. You've got the Spider-Man Superfractor here. This is the clawed one, where you can't really even see Spider-Man, but it got a PSA 9. It sold March 14th, also at Golden Auctions for $31,842. We've got a beautiful card here. Next, we got Gambit. Again, 2024 Topps Chrome, if you're not familiar with it, really is going to dominate the highest sales list, especially in these tens of thousands of dollars for the most part. I totally misjudged 2024 Topps Chrome because it was actually a UK release, not a US-based licensed release. Because at the time that this did release, Upper Deck still had the Marvel Trading Card license here in the US. So I felt like this was kind of an international product and, maybe like a precursor to Topps having the license. And that first Topps Chrome Marvel set that was a US-based license would be the premier set to chase. I was off and I was wrong. That has not been the case. 2025 Topps Chrome has got some great cards, and obviously like the Spider-Man sale we just saw, some great sales, but 2024 has been the set to chase for Topps Chrome Marvel. This is not a single card, it's a full set. The 2025 Topps Marvel Mint Gambit deck with a complete set, but it also included 2 superfractors, so it's a little bit skewed. We have a beautiful card here. We had a green Dr. Doom and a PSA 8 2013. If you don't know, first ever Marvel Precious Metal Gems, which is really important because Marvel was really one of the very first trading cards that had the metal brand and the design, which is important historically. Do some research on that. It's a great card. Obviously, Doom is, he's becoming more and more in people's minds because of what's happening with Robert Downey Jr. Here we have 2025 Topps Marvel Studios Chrome, not Deadpool Chrome, but Marvel Studios Chrome, the 1/1 Henry Cavill auto with an inscription. It got a PSA 7, but still managed to go to auction and hit that nearly $20,000. Topps 24 Chrome shows up again at $19,520. This is the Luke Cage Superfractor and a PSA 9. I don't know. It's a great looking card. It's one of the better Luke Cage cards that you'll find from an art standpoint. Character just doesn't seem important enough to me overall as it relates to the hierarchy of Marvel to sit where this one currently sits as a sell. But, it just takes a couple of people. Heck, maybe the actor himself. I don't know. Who knows who bought this? I have no idea. I have no context for that. But sale seems like an outlier price. But again, 24 Topps Chrome. We got the Chris Evans Superfractor from Marvel Studios. It sold for $17,000. We got a beautiful 2013 Spider-Man Precious Metal Gem selling for $17,000. There was a time where this card was selling nearly for 6 figures. Crazy time. It settled down around this price point at $17,000. That's about what I paid for my red Spider-Man PMG back in the day. I paid around $20,000 for it, and that's kind of where it settled. And then the surprise of 2026 has been 1966 Donruss. These prices have really escalated. It feels like overnight, but the truth is last year I was trying to pick up more 1966 Marvel Donruss because these are the first ever Marvel trading cards of some of the most, if not the most important Marvel characters that exist. Captain America, Iron Man, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Hulk, and Thor. Super important. Really early. I mean, you're talking mid 60s. Spider-Man came out in 62, so it's just 4 short years later. So really important trading cards in my opinion. And last year I was trying to pick up some of the Spider-Man cards and people wanted thousands of dollars for, PSA 7s, PSA 8s. And I just wasn't really comfortable paying the asking prices, but now I wish I would have because you can't even get close to those prices today. Here we have a PSA 8 Captain America selling for $14,640 in an auction at Heritage. Heritage is different than, well, how should I say this? We often see prices on Heritage that you won't see for the same card in other auction formats and places. So where these cards sell does definitely have an impact on the price that it can accumulate. There's just a different amount of money and sometimes even a different buyer that's in certain type of auctions. You're not always going to have the same buyers for different auctions. I'm not trying to get too specific there, but here we have these really debated and highly contested in terms of the legitimacy of green PMGs. These are unnumbered, unserialized. So, are they, the question becomes, if they were not pack pooled, are they legit? Were these some type of backdoor situation, whatever, who knows, right? But this little set here still sold for $13,420 for 9 cards. One of my favorite cards that have sold this year is the Indestructible Wolverine from 2024 Topps Chrome. This is out of 5. PSA 10 sold for $13,420. Same auction, same night, same sales price. Can't explain it. I don't even want to try to understand it. but the out of 10, PSA 10 sold for the same amount. I love both these cards. The out of 5 red would be my choice here, but the black looks great too. All right, this set is really taken off in 2026, not 2024 when it released, really not even in 2025, but we've got 2024 Marvel Masterpieces 92 Platinum, reprint of the 1992 Marvel Masterpieces, but with Upper Deck's basically best inserts, precious metal gems, golden treasures, your size mix with the Joe Jusko art from 92, which is, you know, primo art for trading cards. That set's really taken off. It's there's reasons I can give towards that. You know, I think there's just a segment of people who are just stiff arming tops for whatever reason. They have their reasons, and they're really clinging to kind of the Upper Deck products. These boxes still are under $200 a box, but with a lot of upside if you can hit. The reason this product didn't really jump out initially is, you know, when this product came out, there was a lot of product being released by Upper Deck, and the product that was being released around this one had a lot of hits that were coming out of that product, you know, 5 hits a box kind of thing, serialized sketches, all that kind of stuff. This product has 0 sketches, can't hit any printing plates in the product. That was an EPAC thing. And the PMGs come out around 2 per case, and there's 18 boxes a case. So at first, people were like, oh, man, this is kind of painful. But as time has marched on, people really have come together to really like this product. It has been a product that's had longevity on online breaks through breaker formats, because if you're going to open up 18 cases, you got a 100 character checklist, 100 plus actually. The breaking format allows people to kind of drill down into these boxes and these cases without having to spend, you know, over $3,000 for a case or $200 a box. And really, you're just after maybe one character or one insert. So it's done really well. This Wolverine sold for $12,810 at an auction in February. If this card was back up again today, I don't think it would sell for that amount. I think it would sell for more personally. Out of 5 auto of Hugh Jackman. It's important. We'll get to Deadpool Chrome here in a minute. This is another Marvel Studios Chrome, but Hugh Jackman has been one of the biggest, if not the biggest, chase of 2026 from an actor standpoint. People have gone really hard after his cards. He's a great actor, obviously important, you know, even outside of Marvel, but what he's done for Wolverine is undeniable, and the money has proved that in what is the amount of money that's chased Hugh Jackman autos. Here we have Spider-Man. This is a 2025 Topps Chrome Indestructible Superfractor 1 of 1 with a PSA 7, sold for $12,444 back in February. All right, let's talk about this sale here, because this is kind of a crazy sale. This is a recent sale in terms of the date of me recording this video, April 18th. This was somebody did a buy it now. They just hit the buy button on eBay for $12,000 for a PSA 10 out of 10 cover variant seismic gold from 2023 Marvel Platinum. Great set, unbelievable set. And to see a price at this level for this card has really blown people away. And I think we've even seen a post from the buyer. I've only seen a screenshot, so this is not like something I can verify, but I think we've seen a screenshot from the buyer where they realize, hey, look, I made a mistake. I overpaid for this card. And now people who didn't want to sell, now they want to sell, and they're trying to use this card as the comp to convince that person who bought this to pay more for these other cards. Great card. Love to see, you know, Spider-Man sell well, but I think this one is an outlier. Okay. I was bidding on this card. It went way more than what I was willing to pay, not because I don't think the card's worth it. I was actually hoping to get a good deal. But this card, 2024 Topps Chrome Marvel Spider-Man Hidden Gems in a PSA 10, sold for $11,600 on April 20th, 2026. Interesting story about this card. This actually was my card. I owned this card at one time. I purchased it off of ComC raw for $9,000. Got it graded. It hit a 9, which is very difficult for precious metal gems. 10s, like this is probably the highest pop still. Yeah, now it's a pop 3. It was a pop 1 at the time that I got it. I turned around and sold it with a cash trade deal that I was very comfortable with. And the card popped up all these years later, because I think that was in 2022. Yeah, 2022 when I sold the card. This in 2026. And it sells for a really strong price of $11,468. And I say strong, like in comparison to where the market is now with the cards that are selling around it in this price range. Here we got Dr. Doom Superfractor, Dr. Doom Golden Treasure, I should say, in an CGC 10 selling for $11,043 back on February 25th. These were very interesting sales. Again, Marvel Platinum, this Upper Deck product. This was a set of 6 cards, all PSA 10, numbered out of 99, 33, 35, 25, and I believe out of 10. And the full set sold for best offer accepted at $10,000. And we'll end here with the beautiful 2022 Marvel Masterpieces Battle Spectra Gem, ungraded, out of 10 with an on-card auto, selling for $10,000. This card was routinely selling for around 5-ish, give or take, when the set released. But with every out of 10 Battle Spectra auto that sold, those are getting locked up in sets, and people don't want to sell individual cards when they put them in the sets. They want to sell sets, right? So when another one does pop up, it's no longer an out of 10, it's an out of 5, it's an out of 3. Like, it just depends on how many have been built into these sets. And so when this one popped up, whoever likely was building a set just said, hey, boom, I'm buying it, and knocked it out with the $10,000. So sketches they're really hard to understand the rationale behind why one sketch sells for this amount and another sketch sells for that amount. You know, there's some sets that have been around for a very long time. You can start to understand some of the nuances about that. But when something is literally a piece of original art on a card, and essentially there's only one of, there may be a lot of sketches by that artist. So the artist may have 100 sketches, but each one is its own individual piece of art. Why people buy it starts to change. It's not always the same motive. Frank Miller was the first sketch artist for Topps newest product, because there are some older Topps products that have sketches in it. 2001 Marvel Legends is a set I'm thinking of specifically, but the new Topps release, it's been Frank Miller was the first artist, and Frank Miller is important to Marvel Comics as a creator, as an artist, for sure. Heck, he's important to comics in general. See Batman. But his sketches, even though they're not what you would call little mini masterpieces, there is something endearing about them in their simplicity. He is much older in his, his career, I'll say. And his style has gotten really simplistic, but I don't know, people have been attracted to it. Heck, I even want to own one. I do not own a Frank Miller sketch, would love to own one. But we got the Miles Morales. Now this says Spider-Man, but that is definitely Miles Morales sketch there. It sold via auction February 1st for $4,100. Then we have this 2025 Marvel Studios sketch, Symbiote Spider-Man. I think maybe this is Chris Foreman. I don't know who the artist is, so forgive me if I got that wrong. It sold for best offer accepted at $3,000. Crazy. We got a Wolverine here from X-Men 97. Now, something to know about X-Men 97, the sketches there's much less of them than some of the other Topps releases that we've been seeing recently. See Deadpool as an example. So when a 97 sketch pops up, it's much more rare and difficult to find. So when you get one that's the character that you want and it's good art, it makes sense that people are going to be paying for it. Here we got a beautiful Spider-Man by Gabe Farber. I think is how you say that name. It was authenticated in a PSA slab, and it sold for $2,313. We got another Frank Miller sketch again of Miles Morales. This one sold for $2,312. It was authenticated. And why is this one $2,000 less than this one? It's not a good rationale. It's not a good rationale. We got a really cool sketch here. Now, this is 2007 Marvel Masterpieces, Upper Deck's first entry into Marvel Masterpieces. And a new artist on the scene for Marvel cards was Julio Nar, as people like to call him, N-A-R, Nar. And this is even not as much his style as he grew into. But this sketch came up on April 16th, and somebody had to have it. There's probably some significant reasons on maybe why this sketch is more valuable than other Nar sketches, but he is an artist that people really do seek after when it does pop up. We got a crazy Iron Man sketch here by Duke. Shout out to Duke, great artist who's really becoming a fan favorite in the community. And that's across from Upper Deck fans and, now Topps fans. People are really taking to him, but he's going all out on these sketches. I mean, this Iron Man on a trading card is absolutely insane. And if you pull one of his sketches and you reach out to him, he'll send you the preliminary that goes with it, which is a cool little aspect that he's helping really build his fan base because of that element. I think it's really cool. This Iron Man sold for $2,094.67 on March 15th. We got another Frank Miller sketch here. Miles Morales selling for $2,000. Got another Duke sketch here. This one is Deadpool and Weapon X Wolverine. Absolutely insane on the gold foil, which is the second rarest type of sketch that you can pull. You got black being the most rare, gold foil being the second most rare. Fantastic. Another Duke sketch here with Spider-Man and Venom. This one came out of Marvel Mint, and it's in case, and it sold February 7th for $1,750. Ash Gonzalez with his Venom 2020-2021 Upper Deck Marvel Annual. Venom, just insane art by Ash. Ash has been a fan favorite in the Marvel community for some time now, and his prices still, reflect that. We see that here again with the Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, Gwen Stacy sketch, selling at auction on April 18th for $1,525. I have no rationale on why this Shield sketch sold for $1,500. I think it was maybe the product had just released and somebody just wasn't patient to see how frequently these Shield sketches were going to come out. They are more rare, but $1,500, pretty crazy. We got a Dave Palumbo Iron Man here, and this is a pack pulled Dave Palumbo. It's not an AP from what I can tell anyways. It sold for $1,500. Great. I mean, he's the Marvel Masterpieces artist, Julie Bell's son. Great sketch. We got a 2025 sketch here, but it also has Wolverine, Captain America, and Black Widow. If you go back and look at the Jim Lee cover, that's kind of what this probably is homaging to some degree, and it sold for $1,500. We have a 2023 Upper Deck Funko sketch selling for $1,500. Very high price, but it's actually kind of low compared to what Funko sketches were selling for at one time. We have a Venom AP sketch by Dave Palumbo selling for $1,500. That means it was not pack pulled. Someone commissioned that from Dave Palumbo, but it is official AP stock. I got to show this Ash Gonzalez here. It's Mary Jane that's being turned into a Carnage. Like, it's insane. Selling on April 15, 2026 for $1,450. All right. We're going to move on to some other sales before we wrap up this video. What I wanted to show you with this one, if you just type in Marvel, you get a lot of the sales, but you don't get all of them because some people don't put Marvel in the title anywhere. And, it just is what it is. For instance, looking up Wolverine sales, we have this Wolverine here. It sold for $20,000 on April 28th, but it doesn't pull up when you just search Marvel. So you have to search Wolverine. This is a Superfractor 1 of 1 from Deadpool Chrome. Very strong sale. And of course, I've got to shout out the booklets here with the inscriptions. These have been selling really well. There's multiple sales of these. This one's on April 13th, and it sold for $15,000. Got another one on April 12th selling for $14,600. Got another sale on April 16th selling for $13,000. Another sale on April 26th selling for $10,500. And we have this 2025 Topps Chrome, the new Avenger insert. I love this superfractor Wolverine. It's David Finch art. Looks amazing. It's not the base card. The one of ones for inserts typically sell less than the base cards. I know that may not make sense to people, but that's the data tends to prove that out. And this one sold for $9,760. This was a base card. As we just saw, it's a $20,000 plus card. But anyway, still a great card. Whoever got it, congratulations. Beautiful card. We do have some PMG sales. We've got the 2015 Fleer Retro in an 8.5 green out of 10, selling for $9,460 in auction back in February. And then we've got the Avengers Fleer Retro. Excuse me. Let me say that better. 2024 Marvel Universe Avengers Wolverine. The insert is the retro green PMG because they have base cards and they have the retros. And this is the out of 10. Beautiful card. And it sold for $9,272. Another great sale. This is the red out of 100. And it sold, it's a PSA 8. It sold for $6,100 back in February via auction at Golden. And much like the green PMG we talked about earlier from Wolverine from the 2024 Marvel Masterpieces 92 Platinum, the out of 50 blue PSA 8 sold on March 10th for $5,531. All right, so for this search, I just put in Avengers, and we've got a Spider-Man sale here that did not pull up in the other searches. This is an out of 5. This is from the Avengers set that we just talked about, the retro insert. And it sold for $11,895 back on March 14th via auction. Got a one of one gold PMG selling for $5,100 of Moon Knight. Beautiful card. And this is a sale that I'm having trouble wrapping my mind around. The sale sold for $4,438 via auction. Something tells me, I haven't looked into the bidding history and all that kind of stuff, but look, I sold this card, not this particular card, but same grade, same Ghost Rider out of 10 PMG back in February for like $1,100. And now one sells in auction for $4,438. It makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. So that's the reason why the person that bought the card from me now has theirs listed for sale on eBay right now. We got a blue out of 50 Spider-Man Retro PSA 8 selling for $2,213 on April 19th. Green Captain America selling for $2,100 back in January, PSA 8. And we got a red Spider-Man PSA 9, beautiful 9, selling for $2,000 as the best offer accepted. I think somebody got a good deal there personally. Other great cards here. Just point out this gold one of one Iron Fist. Cool card. It sold for $1,200 back on March 27th. All right, I wanted to show the search just as X-Men because some cards pop up that did not pop up in other searches. One is this Superfractor of Gambit. This is the original art card from the Deadpool release, and it sold as a best offer accepted at $6,000. As a 90s kid, this was cool here. You've got a complete set of 1995 X-Men Mr. Sinister's Observation set signed by Julie Bell, Boris Vallejo, and it sold for $4,000 as a fixed list price on March 29th, 2026. And here's a card that I did not think we would see pop up. This is an Old Man Logan from 2018 Fleer Ultra X-Men. the Wolverine or Old Man Logan in this PMG set is the most important card of all the characters in that set. And they're very difficult to get because a lot of these cards are hoarded by one collector. It's kind of a crazy story for another day. But one popped up. This is a green PMG, but it's actually out of 25, not out of 10. The numbering was different, and it's still sold for $3,151. They're just that difficult to even find. Beautiful Hugh Jackman auto here. In a PSA 10, this one sold for $3,000. Frankly, I would likely rather have this than some of the new stuff that we're seeing now. These cars do not tin easily. To get a gem mint tin with a full auto as opposed to just the hue that the Hugh Jackman does now. Great purchase here for somebody, I think. Got a superfractor of Rogue. 1 of 1 from Topps Finest X-Men, selling for $2,900. And much like the Wolverine, we have the Ryan Reynolds. He is, I guess, Deadpool in this. If you remember him from X-Men Origins Wolverine, he was obviously in that movie too, and you could get his auto back in the day on these Rittenhouse cards. Really well designed cards, selling for $2,125. Here we have the red PMG of the Old Man Logan, selling for $2,025. And another fun sale. This is, okay, so this is interesting. This says it's Jim Lee signed. But what I don't see, it's just authenticated. I don't think this is an actually stamped, pack pulled Wolverine Jim Lee auto. And it's still sold for $1,475. Pretty crazy. Now, if we sort sales just by Spider-Man, obviously we get the graded versions of the Infinity Stones from Magic the Gathering Spider-Man, selling for $46,000 in a BGS 10, $36,000 in a PSA 10, and the Spider-Man Superfractor we talked about, and again the raw sale that we mentioned already at $17,000. Just let's see. Here's another interesting sale. PSA 8 green PMG selling at auction for $13,000 back on February 19th. We got a PSA 10 Superfractor from 2025 Marvel Hero 75th. And this one sold for $7,930. We have the 1966 Donruss that we mentioned earlier. This is a PSA 6. Great looking card. Actually pretty well centered compared to a lot of the other cards I see. To me, this feels like a strong 6 just looking at this photo. Sold for $7,000. Best offer accepted. Blue PMG of Spider-Man and a 9 selling for $5,992 back in March. Got the 1 of 1 auto Steve McNevin selling for $6,000 raw. Got another PSA, what is this? PSA 6 selling for $5,800. Best offer accepted back on April 8th. Green PMG of Deadpool, PSA 8 selling for $5,850. This is actually a sale that I did. So this is a PSA 5. This one sold for $5,200 in an auction. All right, this sale makes no sense to me. Somebody please explain it. We got a 2002 Top Spider-Man hologram, PSA 10, selling for $4,450 in an auction. This is not a rare card. I can't for the life of me understand. I think somebody got like hoodwinked by it being a PSA 10 holo from Topps, but yeah. Anyways, somebody educate me because I don't know. I don't understand. All right, so this is kind of fascinating. We got a PSA 10 out of 10 Spider-Man and a 1 of 1 foil fractor of Rogue, and it sells at a fixed price of $4,400. Feels like somebody just kind of did a quick sell. More Donruss. Okay, here's an interesting card. We're starting to see these pop up. These are employee exclusives that were given by Topps, as I understand it. This one's out of 25. They all have Spider-Man with some type of Santa cap on it. This one sold at auction for $4,300. Crazy. Love seeing this sell just because it's a great card. Got a Platinum Portrait Spider-Man, unnumbered, just short printed. PSA 10 selling for $4,000. That's pretty close to what they were selling for when they released. So they've held their value. Beautiful card here. We got a PSA 10. This is an out of 100. And it's a Seismic Gold Spider-Man from 92 Platinum. Great card selling for $4,000. Best offer accepted. And we got to talk about the 2024 Topps Chrome Spider-Man Gold. You got the Gold Wave and True Gold. These are out of 50. These have really jumped in price. This one sold for $3,557. But these are selling much higher now. A lot of them are trading privately, from what I'm hearing and seeing. If this card popped up today, I definitely think it would do a lot better than what you see there. And to the point that we made earlier about the $12,000 sale, an out of 10 cover variant selling for $3,142. Most recent sale being $12,000. All right, my friends, that went a lot longer than I anticipated, but I wanted to go through, some of the sales that really kind of caught my attention thus far in 2026. What are you seeing out there? What's your vibe in terms of what's happening in the Marvel trading card market? Selling is not easy. It's always easier to buy than it is to sell. I know that's, people want it to be different. They want to be able to rip, jump in breaks, do all these different things, and then, turn around and sell quickly. It's just not the case. It takes work to move cards into the proper homes at the proper prices at the proper timing. And it's not easy. So, when you see these sales like this, don't think that you're going to be able to just run out there and kind of, turn cards over really quickly, because that's not the case, right? I mean, we just spent 40 minutes, however long this video is, and we went through maybe a few hundred cards here or there, and think about how many cards are really out there. So the odds of being able to hit some of these bigger cards are really pretty low, so you got to be careful. But as a collector, when you see some of these cards, it's really pretty special, and when you see some of the prices that they're starting to sell for, it starts to make sense in comparison to what you see from other collectible spaces. And you realize, like, hey, some of these cards are a lot more special than what you see selling for, 10x what some of the Marvel cards are selling for. But either way, just be careful out there. Let me know what you think in the video down below. We'll continue to kind of look at these sales as we move into the future. Remember, if you are not a member of PSA and you want to be able to submit cards and grade them, if you want to get access to the Pop Culture Magazine, the monthly magazine, or if you want to be able to get access to CardLadder through your PSA membership, remember to use that Spidey25 code. I'll have a link in the description of the video. But as always, I hope you have a marvelous day.